LeBron is in position where he can activate his superpowers whenever and doesn't have to be 100% all game. From a league perspective, this was an unnecessary confidence boost going into the playoffs. I don't know about unnecessary. I think it was necessary. I think it was necessary. Harvest, thank you for the 10 spot. I appreciate it. By the way, anybody who disagrees with me on any of these comments, I don't want to discourage anyone from having a different opinion. But obviously, I'm going to, obviously go back as well if I disagree with you. But that's okay. Disagreements, there's nothing wrong with them at all. Harvest, appreciate the 10 spot. Let me answer this real quick, and it's actually going to get me into my next point. And I know exactly what you're talking about. LeBron yesterday for the first half, you didn't really feel like it was LeBron. I didn't really feel LeBron's presence. I started feeling LeBron's presence. Was it third quarter or maybe early fourth quarter where LeBron was kind of like, all right, I feel good. Let me get going here. Hitting tough fadeaways, hitting shots, baseline, Oklahoma City Thunder bench looking at him like, this dude's still doing this at 40. But I think the point you're trying to make, and I haven't even talked about Luka yet, and I want to talk about Luka. The point that you're trying to make is if LeBron's in a position where his foot doesn't have to be on the gas pedal on offense for 48 minutes, that opens up a whole different kind of opportunity, I think, for LeBron James and the Lakers. I had it here in my notes. I was taking some notes this morning, kind of getting ready for the show. And I thought Luka was special yesterday. And I have here that he has to be the best player on the court for the Lakers to make a deep run. Yesterday against Shai Gilgeous, LeBron's on the court, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Austin Reeves. I'm just naming some of the guys. But really, if you want me to minimize it, here was who was on the floor yesterday. Shai Gilgeous, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. He was the best player between those three players. He was the best player on the floor yesterday. And I think, Harvest, the point that you're trying to make is the more Luka is the best player on the floor, the better shot Lakers got on making a deep run, because it shouldn't be LeBron at this point. It just shouldn't. And it can't be. If Luka's having games, LeBron had a much better game than Luka against the Golden State Warriors. Warriors won that game. That wasn't a good enough performance from Luka. Yesterday, Luka was special. He's the best player on the floor, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. I don't care what Shai did. I don't care what LeBron did. And LeBron didn't have a bad game, but LeBron got to pick and choose when he wanted to be LeBron. Austin Reeves had a phenomenal game yesterday as well. Austin Reeves, I thought, was good. But Luka was the best player. He did what he wanted when he wanted. He was efficient. Got to the free throw line. Did it against the Thunder, not the Pelicans. That, to me, was what was so important about yesterday's game. You got his best performance. I know I've referenced this a couple times. There are people hitting me on the post-game chat on Friday saying, you're not giving Luka enough credit about what he did. What do you want me to say about Luka having a good game against the Pelicans? Frankly, I don't give a shit. They're going to beat the Pelicans. No problem. What are you doing against the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road? He was slicing and dicing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Stars go by a different standard. And by the way, it almost kind of bothers me that I have to explain this to some people, that stars don't get, the treatment they get is different than everybody else. Luka came to the Los Angeles Lakers with the expectation of being a top 5 player in the league. Do you want me to treat him like a top 20 player in the league? Because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat him like the top 5 player in the league, like he's supposed to be. And when he has performances like the game against the Golden State Warriors, and really, frankly, since he's been a Laker, he's had some good performances here and there. He's had a couple great performances. Okay, who are those great performances against? One was at Denver. One was against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Those are two that come to mind right out the gate. When you have performances like that against some of the elite teams in the NBA on the road, that's what makes you special. I'm not gonna bring my bar down for Luka so that people feel like I'm complimenting him more. He's Luka freaking Doncic. There's a reason why people say that this was the most lopsided trade in NBA history. They say that because Luka's supposed to be one of the best players in the league. One of the best players in the league goes on the road and does what Luka did yesterday. That's got to be wildly encouraging for Laker fans out there saying, and by the way, a complete disruption to other teams saying, Jesus, Lord, Luka's going to be the best player on this team. Luka's going to be the best player on the floor, and they still have LeBron, and they still got Austin Reeves, and they got these other players as well that know their role and that play defense and everything else. I think this comment from Harvest is a phenomenal comment because I think it solidifies my point of trying to say, Lakers make a run, Luka's got to be the best player on the court. And that's no disrespect to LeBron. It's if Luka's game is on point, I'm not worried about LeBron. LeBron's game is going to be on point. Reeves, most likely, his game is going to be on point. All right, let's read some of the comments here. Yeah, it's just not happening. I am not, there is no world where I'm taking down my expectation of what I think Luka's supposed to be as a Laker. Period. Like there is, I am not, it's impossible for me. I've seen Luka dismantle organizations. He did it to the Phoenix Suns. He's done it to the Los Angeles Clippers. He did it against the Oklahoma City Thunder last year in the playoffs. If you think that I'm going to cater because a couple people are saying, well, you're being too tough on Luka. Luka's the guy is supposed to be one of the best players in the NBA. That's what comes with the territory. How much do people bitch and complain about LeBron when he doesn't have a good game? You want to know why? Because he's the elite of the elite. You expect only the best. How many different times will you'll have LeBron have a game go 38-8, but went 1 of 7 from the three-point line, and all the comments are bitching and complaining about LeBron? That's the territory that comes with the greats. And that's what Luka's supposed to be for the Lakers. And yesterday he was, step back 3 on Isaiah Hartenstein, step back 3 against Chet, get into the basket, making Lou Dort look like he's not even a phenomenal defensive player, and he's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Comes with the territory. Luka's a crybaby. LeBron is just deferring to help Luka out. LeBron doesn't get enough credit for sacrificing his numbers to appease crybaby Luka. Nick, let me tell you something. Okay? You can call him a crybaby. You can call him a whiner. You can call him a complainer, which, by the way, he does that a lot. And I'm not telling you that he doesn't. I think the worst that I've seen of Luka this year is when he's paying so much attention to the referees and not enough attention to, obviously to the game, or he's bitching and complaining or whatever the case is. You give me 37-6, 11 of 20 from the field with 5 threes, and I'll take that crybaby on my squad anytime. A lot of good players bitch and complain. I wish it didn't happen, but it does. Luka complains a lot. I think what you just said about, and by the way, I don't even know why the hate on Luka in your comment here, and maybe it's just to hype up LeBron a little bit more. Do you think LeBron's a smart basketball player? Do you think LeBron's an intelligent basketball player? Do you think LeBron wants to win? Because I think he does. The portion that you said here, LeBron doesn't get enough credit for sacrificing his numbers to appease Luka. You think LeBron knows what he's doing? You think LeBron knows that if the Lakers are going to make a deep run and if he's got a shot at making another NBA Finals and giving himself a chance at championship number 5 for the championship number 5 in his career, do you think LeBron also just happens to understand that's the best route of him getting there? I think LeBron's been brilliant with Luka. I think he's been brilliant because it also shows he can play off the ball. And I think it also shows that he can adapt in any situation and still be successful in the league. I think that's what makes LeBron brilliant. But LeBron's also not an idiot. He understands I got a top 5 player in the league. And if I could now not have my foot on the gas for 48 minutes to go get wins, to go get W's, and I got another guy as good as me in Luka Doncic, and it's sometimes even better than me, and other nights not as good as me, that's the recipe to success for the Lakers. They got to have Luka deliver. I don't think LeBron is just deferring because he's bored. I don't think LeBron went from being an alpha for 40 years of his life and all of a sudden decided I'm not going to be an alpha, I think LeBron is just being smart. All right, thank you very much for watching the clip. Just want to give a shout out here to one of our partners, the Wallace Firm. They are official injury attorney of the Sliwa Show and Hoops Talk, the entire channel. If you are ever in a need, and I hope you're not, but some type of serious injury with yourself or a family member of yours, I would like to personally help you by introducing you to the best in the business, Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Also got a URL out here that you can use as well. Just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Thank you for their partnership, and thank you for being a part of the Sliwa Show.